Hey guys, it's Alyssa and Nicole. So you guys have been requesting this video quite a bit to cover the different loan programs available through the CARES Act. So we're going to cover the two main ones. So to reiterate, we're not attorneys. This is not legal advice. This is just our research and interpretation of the data that we want to share with you. So Nicole, why don't you start us off?
You got it. So before diving in, please remember, guys, that this information and the regulations are still evolving with regards to these loans. So stay tuned for updated information. But here's what we got for you today. So on Friday, March 27th, the president signed into law the CARES Act, which contains $376 billion in relief for American workers and small businesses. So in addition to the traditional Small Business Administration funding programs, the CARES Act established several new temporary programs to address the virus outbreak. So Alyssa, will you go through what the four are?
Of course. So there's number one, the Paycheck Protection Program, or referred to as the PPP. Number two is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, or the EIDL. Then there's an SBA Express Bridge Loan and an SBA Debt Relief. So today we're going to focus on the main two that are going to help all of you, and that's the Paycheck Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. So Nicole, will you kind of explain what those both are?
Yeah, so in simple terms, the Paycheck Protection Program is a loan that's designed to provide a direct incentive for small businesses to keep their workers on payroll. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan is the loan that's designed to help small businesses continue operations. So due to COVID, the Small Business Administration is providing an emergency advance that's going to provide up to relief for small businesses that are currently experiencing the temporary difficulties. That $1,000 advance won't have to be repaid. So looking at the two, let's cover a couple similarities. So first, they are both loans through the SBA to cover or to help cover expenses for small businesses that are experiencing the hardships due to the virus. In order to be eligible, you need to be a business with less than 500 employees. You can be a sole proprietor or you can be an independent contractor. So let's tackle the Paycheck Protection Program first. We know who can apply. What about when? Alyssa, let's go over that.
Yeah, so small businesses and sole proprietorships could apply back on April 3rd. Independent contractors and self-employed individuals will be able to apply on April 10th, which is today. So we put links to where to apply in the notes. There's going to be more lenders available to make these loans soon. You can look up, there's a lot of local institutions that'll do them, and you can look up on the link below to see where to go.
Sweet. Now let's touch on the loan forgiveness and details. So the PPP, I'm going to call them the PPP and the EIDL just so that we don't have too much of a mouthful here. So the PPP loan will be fully forgiven if the funds are used for payroll costs, interest on mortgages, rent, and utilities. One requirement is that at least 75% of the forgiven amount must be used towards payroll. So forgiveness is going to be based on the employer maintaining or quickly rehiring employees and maintaining those salary levels. Loan payments will also be deferred for 6 months, so no collateral or personal guarantees are required. We also know that neither the government nor lenders are going to be charging small businesses any fees. The forgivenesses will be reduced if full-time headcount declines or salaries and wages decrease. So you have to be giving your employees exactly what they were earning, maintaining those wages. If you cut their wages and you're still getting the loan, you're going to have to pay back everything. So the loan has a maturity of 2 years and an interest rate of 1%. So that kind of covers forgiveness, but how do you apply for forgiveness, Alyssa?
Yeah, so you're going to apply for the forgiveness through whatever lender you applied for the loan through. In the application, you're going to have to basically document everything. So you're going to have to verify the number of employees on payroll, that it stayed the same, the pay rate stayed the same. You're going to have to include your IRS tax roll, tax filings, and state income, payroll, and unemployment insurance filings, documentation verifying payments that covered mortgage, lease obligations, utilities, pretty much everything. And then if you are a small business, you're going to have a certification from an officer of your business to certify that you met all of the forgiveness guidelines for your company. So document everything. Be prepared to show proof.
Awesome. Anything else we should know about the PPP?
So the maximum loan size is 10 million. To calculate it, basically, if you were in business last year, February 15th through June 30th, the max loan is equal to 2.5 times the average monthly payroll cost of the 12 months prior to your application. So you're going to take last year times by 2.5, and that's going to be your max loan. If you have seasonal workers, you can opt to choose March 1st as a start date. And if you were not in business last year, the max loan is going to equal 2.5% the average payroll cost between January 1st of this year and February 29th. So the other thing to note is that a lot of people are going to take the EIDL because it's the quicker one to get. And basically you're going to want to roll that into a PPP. So you can refinance the loan into a PPP to cover outstanding payroll sums.
Okay, let's talk about payroll. Specifically what payroll includes and does not include. So what it includes is compensation, salary, wage, commission, or similar compensation, payment of cash tips or the equivalent, payment for vacation, parental, family, medical, or sick leave, allowance for dismissal or separation, group healthcare benefits, including insurance premiums, retirement benefits, state or local tax assessed on the compensation of employees.
Cool. Sorry, Nicole. So for us, we work on commission. So we are covered under this from our understanding, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So what it does not include, this is super important, payroll does not include employee or owner compensation in excess of $100,000. So taxes imposed or withheld under chapters 21, 22, and 24 of the IRS code. Don't know what those codes are. Feel free to look them up. Qualified sick and family leave for which a credit is allowed under sections 7001 and 7003 of the Family's First Coronavirus Response Act. So a lot of words there. Just to sum it up, if you're self-employed, independent contractor, this is going to be a great loan for you to replace your lost income, and it may be fully forgivable. If you have employees, this is a great way to keep them. You nor your employees can double dip on PPP and unemployment. If you want this loan to be forgiven, you must keep your staff and keep really, really good records of where this money is going. It's a 2-year term, and there's a 1% interest rate.
Perfect. And then I think another thing that you had emphasized is the max owner or employee compensation is $100,000 per employee. So if you are your employee or you're self-employed, you're only going to be able to get a max income of $100,000 covered or compensated on this. So if you make $200,000 a year, you're maxed out at $100,000 a year. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So now that we've covered the PPP, let's break down the EIDL. We know who can apply. When can we apply? Well, pretty much the time's now. The applications have opened up already on this. You just go to the SBA website to fill out your application. What else should we know, Nicole?
So if you apply for an EIDL loan, you can request up to a $10,000 grant for working capital. So don't forget to check the box in the application requesting the grant. The requirements for the application have also been scaled down, and there's no additional documentation like tax returns or personal financial statements that are going to be required when you submit the application. Supposedly, the SBA claims that you're going to receive this grant within 3 days of the application filing, whether or not you ultimately qualify for a loan. And again, the grant doesn't have to be repaid.
Yeah, I've had a friend who applied and it's been more than 3 days and she has not received a magic $10,000 yet. So again,
yeah,
all this information. Huh?
I said, I figure she's not alone on that boat.
Yeah, exactly. So if you receive the $10,000 grant on the EIDL, that will be subtracted from any forgiveness amount that you get forgiven on the PPP. So the EIDL has a higher interest rate and all of that, but you can get money faster. But the PPP loan is probably a better product because it's forgivable. So if you get the $10,000 grant or you get any EIDL loan because it's faster, you can then roll that into a PPP loan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just to clarify, PPP loans are forgivable. The EIDL loans are not,
Okay.
but you get the advance quickly and then you can roll that over into forgivable. And the
Gotcha.
max loan amount for the EIDL is $2 million.
Okay. Good clarification there.
Cool. So let's close in on the independent contractor and self-employed aspect, because I feel like that's going to be a lot of people.
Totally. So in regards to the particular steps, we've got some advice on how to fill out your application if you're an independent contractor or self-employed individual. So first, you're going to go on to the SBA's website. There is a COVID-19 relief tab that you'll click on and see. You can see the application link there. So on the first question, check the second box that you're applying as an independent contractor or sole proprietor. You must add your social security number if you're applying as an individual or an independent contractor. The form's going to ask you for gross revenues for the last 12 months for your independent contractor business and the quote unquote cost of goods sold. So you can estimate this based off of, all your business in 2019. So cost of goods sold means the expenses of operating as a freelancer or independent contractor. Where it asks for owner, put your name and 100% owner. On the question where it says, is your business owned by a business entity? The answer is no, since you are the individual owner. And the last piece of advice we have is that when the form asks for your business name, just enter your own individual name if you don't have a business name. The form's going to take you about 15 minutes to fill out. The SBA supposedly will act quickly in making the grants like we discussed. We don't know yet how the SBA will determine the exact amount to be granted, but when we do, we'll let you guys know.
Perfect. So just to sum up the EIDL, it's quick. If you need money now to keep your doors open, you can ask for the 10K grant, and that supposedly is forgivable. Number two, it's a longer loan term. So if you need a lot of money, this might be the better one for you because the term's longer. You can spread out the payments for a longer period of time, up to 30 years. It is a higher interest rate. The interest rates are 3.75 for businesses and 2.75 for nonprofits. And lastly, the EIDL loan can cover a lot more than the PPP loan. It can cover payroll, sick leave, rent, mortgage payments, debt obligations, pretty much any bills, and increased business costs due to the supply chain disruptions with the coronavirus. So it's a little bit broader, it covers more, but it's not forgivable. So hopefully this covered the majority of your general questions between the two. If you have any specific questions, please reach out. We would love to hear your situation and give you guys specific advice. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and thank you for watching.
Stay safe, stay home. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.